Hello, Cancer. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. We are officially 4 months old. How thrilling, how exciting is that? Please remember to subscribe, to comment, and to like this video, as well as check me out on Facebook and Instagram at claire.voyant.queen and Twitter at _Claire_voyant. I would greatly appreciate it. Please also remember that I read energy in and around you. This could apply to you. This also could apply to your partner. Take what resonates and leave what does not. Please also check out your other placements, such as your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus for more messages and more content. Thank you so much for watching. Hi, Cancer. Thank you so much for checking out your November 2020 love and relationship reading. Let's jump right in. Tell me about Cancer. Tell me about Cancer for November of 2020. Tell me about Cancer for November of 2020. Tell me about Cancer for November of 2020. Sorry, I had an itch. Tell me about Cancer for November of 2020. Couple more shuffles. Cancer, November 2020. Tell me about Cancer. Cancer for November of 2020. Cancer for November. Cancer, November 2020. Okay. Tell me about Cancer. Cancer for November of 2020. Okay, Cancer, we have codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. We have true love. This is a romance of a lifetime. Last but not least, we have very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Okay. Wow. Let's see here. So we have, I think this is going to appeal to a wide variety of Cancers. Some of you, I'm getting the impression, are already in some sort of commitment, already in some sort of relationship. And some of you, I feel like, are attempting to manifest it. So we have true love here, and I feel like that's kind of, I suppose, the similarities between these two groups of you. But we have true love. This is the romance of a lifetime, not a romance. It is the romance of a lifetime. And if you're attempting to manifest it, I feel like it's coming very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. If you are already in some sort of connection, some sort of relationship, we also have codependency here, and it says addictions are affecting your romantic life. You could be addicted to this person. This person could be addicted to you. There could be some sort of unhealthy attachment going on here, whether it be with someone you currently are committed to or someone that you are interested in, that you are attempting to manifest. So just pay attention to that. This is coming through really strongly. It is a little bit of a red flag. Let's pull some spirit animal cards and we'll kind of figure out what's going on in this connection. Tell me about Cancer. Tell me about Cancer. Tell me about Cancer for November of 2020. Tell me about Cancer. Cancer. Tell me about Cancer for November of 2020. Tell me about Cancer for November of 2020. Okay. couple more shuffles. Cancer. November of 2020. Cancer. November of 2020. Okay. Cancer, you are the stingray. Your partner is the otter. Wow. Beautiful. In your emotional connection, we have the unicorn, which also came up in Scorpio. And in your physical connection, we have the gazelle. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm going to read everything from the book. I feel like you get a lot more information when I read everything from the book. Just putting this out there right now, we have stingray, we have otter, we got both 2 cards of water. The gazelle is representative of fire, and our unicorn is representative of the spirit element, right? We only have 7 cards in that deck, and one of them decided to come out for you today. So let's go out with, start off with the stingray. Let's see. Stingray. So this is you, Cancer. Developing confidence, sense of self, or the spine. The stingray card represents a pivotal moment in personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again, as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. I do feel, I am getting the strong impression that you're undergoing some sort of big personal change, personal transformation, perhaps when it comes to how you view romance, when it comes to how you view intimacy. It feels like you're almost like, I'm kind of getting a sensation of like you're reevaluating. And I feel like I keep coming to this codependency card, especially in regards to the stingray, really talks about developing a backbone, developing a spine, right? Making the decision between what is easy and what is more difficult. You know, Cancer is an incredibly, incredibly emotional sign. And a lot of the Cancers that I know, you know, really depend on the emotional connections from friends and family members and really depend on that energy, right? And so sometimes when I think of Cancer, sometimes it has a little bit of a codependency vibe to me as a little bit of a sign. And that might be something that, you know, that sign personally has to kind of work through and work towards. So I'm kind of getting the impression here that you might be almost, this is interesting. I'm kind of getting the impression that maybe you are making some realizations about yourself when it comes to like connections, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to like romantic feelings. Like it feels like you're making realizations about like patterns of behavior that you have. And I almost feel like you're on the verge of attempting to challenge them, attempting to change them, attempting to transform from them. So it feels like you might have been a very codependent person in the past, or you might have some sort of issue with codependency, but it feels like you're almost learning to challenge it and almost learning to maybe take it one step at a time is kind of just the impression that I'm getting. That's really beautiful. I really like to see that. Maybe we'll kind of explore this concept more, this idea more when we pull some more tarot. But let's jump into the otter and your partner. The otter is one of my favorite cards in this deck. And it came out just for you. Look at that. So this is the otter, this is your partner. Unobstructed joy, playfulness, and contentment. Perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck, the otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child available to us at any age. They have the giddiness and reverence for life itself, without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? What would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. Immediately when this card came up, I immediately went back to our true love card, right? Otters, I feel like I say this every single time, but there's that old saying that otters mate for life, right? And this kind of feels like, with true love being here, this is the romance of a lifetime. With the otter card being here, it feels like this is a very, very, very strong connection. If it's something that you're already experiencing, if it's something that's coming in for you that you're attempting to manifest, it feels like a very strong connection. Whoever this person is, could be another water sign, so it could be a Scorpio, could be a Cancer, or it could be your sign, the Pisces. However, it feels like they're just full of like that childlike zest for life. You know what I mean? They feel like they have energy. They feel like they want to play. It feels like they're funny. It feels like they just have so much joyfulness associated with them. And you might be really attracted to that joyfulness. And I feel like maybe there's something that you're doing that you're hesitating. It feels like, it literally says this is the romance of a lifetime, and it feels like this person is incredible. But I keep feeling like maybe you're hesitating, or it's almost like you could be manifesting it, but it's almost like it's here now, and now that it's here, you're hesitating that it's here. It's odd. And it could be coming down to this codependency vibe. You might have been hurt in the past, and so you're kind of taking a look at this connection, taking a look at this relationship and saying, am I going to be dependent on this person? Is that what it means to be in a healthy relationship? That's not what it means to be in a healthy relationship. But it's almost like you're studying and you haven't fully committed yet. And it's because I feel like you're reflecting on your own personal habits, your own patterns when it comes to past connections and past relationships. And I keep feeling like this person's here, and it's almost like they're too good to be true. They're too good to be true is what it feels like, right? And it's like, I don't want to fall into another trap. I don't want to fall into another hole, is kind of the energy and the vibe that I'm getting. Let's jump into the unicorn. This is going to be in your emotional connection. Once again, it's a spirit animal card, right? It's a spirit card. So there are 7 of these in the whole deck. We pulled one of them. We pulled the same one that came up in Scorpio. And so with the otter being here and the stingray being here, you could, again, be dealing with a Scorpio, or they could have Scorpio placement. But we have reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago? The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from, and if we can really trust it. We think about higher power, and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there's something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you've begun your quest for the answers. I'm definitely kind of getting the vibe, especially in the emotional connection with this unicorn card. I said unicard, lol. This unicorn card being here. I'm getting the impression that maybe you might be spiritual, your partner might be spiritual, you could both be spiritual, but there's some sort of like spiritual connection, spiritual emotional connection here as well, where you might be like not only like emotionally connected to them, but spiritually connected to them. Again, amethyst, this crystal right here, this beautiful purple crystal, is actually a great crystal for the third eye, right? The third eye chakra, and what the unicorn card is referring to. So you can always go out and get yourself a piece of amethyst, and it might really help out with this connection here. But really, really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. And last but not least, we have the gazelle, right? And the gazelle is in your physical connection. Let's see here, the gazelle. Okay, tiger, cheetah, gazelle. Okay, physical connection, gazelle. Heightened awareness and ability, vulnerable. The gazelle represents supreme grace. With every move, this awe-inspiring beauty emits sophistication and elegance. Gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, bordering on hyper-vigilant, and this can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they've spent so much effort cultivating. No more worrying about all those predators out there in the wild. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your strength, and acknowledge the bounty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle spirit. Interesting. This connection to me, honestly, is wild. It talks about like how, like, okay, I'm trying to like break this down here. It talks about how like beautiful gazelles are, right? It talks about like supreme beauty and supreme grace, and like how beautiful they are. And this is in your physical connection. So this kind of tells me that your partner finds you incredibly physically attractive. You find your partner incredibly physically attractive. There's like a level of like physical attraction, right? And then we have emotional attraction, right? And it feels like we're very much on the same wavelength, right? Not only do we have true love, this is the romance of a lifetime, but we have like two very watery natured cards, especially with the otter being all about like utter happiness and utter bliss and utter playfulness. It feels like you're very emotionally attracted to each other. And then on top of it, we have this unicorn card here and your emotional connection. And it feels like you're almost like you're vibing on like a very like spiritual level as well. It feels like you are attracted to like not even this person, but like you are attracted to their soul, right? You are attracted to who they are at their core is what it feels like. It's a very, very, very beautiful, very, very magnetic connection. And I feel like I keep replaying this concept in my mind of like, it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. And it feels like almost with you being the stingray here, it feels like we're almost reflecting on our past like habits and patterns. And like, it's almost like we're reflecting on our past relationships and we're saying, this is what went wrong. And we're like identifying what went wrong in each of our past relationships. And we're attempting to kind of like learn from that. And I feel like it might come down to this codependency problem. Like maybe like in all of my past relationships, I got too close. I got too dependent. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're almost trying to take the time out to realize that, which is beautiful, which is so, so, so important. But at the same time, I feel like you're also trying to change that. And you keep, it's like you're, and again, with this gazelle energy here, it's like you're hyper aware, like you're hyper alert of your surroundings and of this connection. And it feels like, almost like I keep saying it's too good to be true. Like it's too good to be true. Like there's something wrong, or like I'm going to fuck this up, or I'm going to do something wrong, or something is not totally correct about this, which is really wild to me. Let's pull some traditional tarot. We'll kind of clarify what's on the board and we will wrap it up. Okay. Talk to me about Cancer. Talk to me about Cancer. Talk to me about Cancer for November of 2020. Talk to me about Cancer for November of 2020. Talk to me about Cancer for November of 2020. Cancer, November of 2020. Okay, these feel nice and shuffled. Talk to me about Cancer for November. Ooh. Cancer for November of 2020. Cancer, November 2020. Okay. Cancer, November 2020. In your current position, Cancer, we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. In your partner's current situation, we have the Emperor. Interesting. In your past connection with this individual, your past connection, we have Two of Swords in reverse. In your present connection with this individual, your present connection, we have, wow, the Empress. Wow. Oh my God, this is crazy. And in your future connection with this individual, we have the Two of Rods in reverse. Y'all, you can't make this shit up. This is fucking wild. This is fucking wild. Okay. So I need to reiterate this before I jump into this because you're physically attracted to each other. You're emotionally attracted to each other. You're like spiritually attracted to each other. Like there's like this strong magnetic connection here. And that's clearly defined with true love. This is the romance of a lifetime, right? Not only did we have the Emperor come up, we had the Empress come up. Like I'm talking in whole tarot here, right? We have card number 3. We have card number 4. This is the Divine Mother. This is the Divine Father, right? This connection, whatever this connection is a soulmate connection. This is a soulmate connection. You might have had several past lives with this person, several reincarnations with this person, if you believe in it. But I gotta be honest, this is powerful stuff. Like if there's 2 cards to pop out that would justify a relationship, it might be these 2. If we're looking at like face cards, right? If we're looking at face cards, it would probably be these 2. This is incredible. We also have, 2 2s here on the board, both in reverse. 2s indicates relationships. 2s indicate couplings. Like this is like the fact that there are 2 2s on the board is not surprising at all. So I've been kind of starting here right now and working my way through and then kind of coming back to these cards. So I'll probably do the same thing here. So it looks like in your past connection, we have the 2 of Swords in reverse, right? The 2 of Swords upright showcases a woman and she's sitting and she's blindfolded, right? And she has 2 swords crossed over her heart. It's an act of defensiveness. It's an act of protection, right? But on the flip side of the coin, because she can't physically see, because she's essentially almost like, it's almost like her sensory perception, like her senses are like trapped, right? We have the moon here, and the moon is indicating like subconscious. The moon is indicating intuition. So because she's not using her senses, she's actually using her subconscious, her intuition, to really protect her heart, to really defend her heart, and to make a decision. Because 2s are not only about couplings, 2s are about making decisions here. She's weighing these swords in her hand. She's weighing these options in her hand to make a decision. When the 2 of Swords is in reverse, this is when the decision has been made. right? It feels like in this past connection, there was a lot of like, almost like, this is funny. I'm getting this mental image of like someone like doing like this, like almost weighing something like physically, or like saying like, I don't know, like, I don't know. It feels like there was like a lot of back and forth. It feels like there was a lot of like, one moment you felt this way, then the next moment you felt this way, and then you'd go back to that previous moment, and then you'd go back to that previous moment, and it kept going like back and forth, but nothing was actually never done. It's kind of how it feels. But it feels like in the past you kind of like made a decision, like you made a commitment, and you kind of put the swords down, and you've found a path forward, essentially, is what it feels like. In your present moment, you have the Empress here. The Empress is very in reverse here. The Empress is very like Libra energy, very Taurus energy. So you could have a Libra or a Taurus placement, or your partner could have a Libra or Taurus placement. And the Empress, you know, the Empress is all about like bounty, right? It's the divine mother, right? And it really talks about fertility. You know, if you're a mother, it could be like actual like physical like becoming pregnant or giving birth, fertility. But you know, if you do not have children, you know, this talks about like bounty and fertility in terms of like, look at all the crops she's produced, look at all the lush vegetation going on behind her, look at the stream in the side of the card. Like even her robe is like dotted with what looks like strawberries. It looks like there's almost like strawberries on her robe, right? And so it's a card of like giving, 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 and like producing, right? It's a very, very beautiful, beautiful like maternal energy. And when it's in reverse, essentially, you know, not to be a Debbie Downer here, but like everything's going to wilt, like everything's going to die, like the crops aren't supported, you know, the vegetation isn't supported, the water will run out of the river, right? Even her sitting on this chair, she feels a little bit unstable. She feels like she's not able to prop herself up correctly, right? And so it feels like in this current connection here, like it feels like there's not a lot being produced. There's not a lot like occurring here in this connection. Like it's when people come together, we're creating something, right? But I feel like we're still coming together, but we're not creating anything, is what it feels like currently. And then in the future outcome, what's funny here is we have the Two of Rods. We have the Two of Swords, now we have the Two of Rods. And the Two of Rods, you know, again, kind of reminds me of a little bit of like Fool energy here. And it talks about possibilities. It talks about exploration. It talks about discovery, right? If you look at very closely, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's literally standing atop this castle. He's looking out over the land. He's looking at possibilities. He's looking at opportunities, right? And he's trying to make a decision in terms of, what is my next move? Where am I going? What am I doing? Like, what's my right path, right? And in reverse, I always indicate that he's made his decision. He's found his path. Honestly, when I look at it this way, I feel like he's almost like gripping that rod even tighter, right? This rod will fall away, but this rod is gripped tighter. He's kind of made a decision. He's made a progress forward. So it feels like almost like, again, I almost feel like you're almost like stuck in a connection and you keep going back and forth and you're trying to make a decision. You're trying to like go forward, but it feels like you're not really producing anything. Like you're really not grabbing a lot of momentum. Like you're kind of stuck. Over here, we have the Ace of Wands in reverse, right? This is indicating to me that you're undergoing a brand new start, a brand new transformation. Sorry guys, my camera battery died, but we have Ace of Wands in reverse again. So it feels like at one point in time, something that was incredibly like physically draining, physically exhausting, a lot of time, effort, and energy spent on a project or something that you were working towards kind of wrapped up or kind of completed. It feels like this is a new start. It feels like this is a new start, but I still get the impression that you're tired. You're tired. Or that you don't have the energy to complete this new start. You're not feeling very enthusiastic about this new start. Because this is in your current situation, it could be that, you know, Like you might be gaining the energy to actually make a new decision, to take a new pathway, to explore a new road, right? And kind of do that in the future. But it feels like there is a new start here for this connection or for you in general. Last but not least, we have the Emperor. Emperor is iconic Aries energy. We have the Rams on the throne, the Rams up here on the throne. And the Emperor is, you know, not a page, not a knight, not a queen, not a king, not even a king, because kings rule kingdoms, right? Emperors rule like nations, right? This is someone who I'm being told they might have some sort of like high platform or high, what am I thinking? Like essentially like a high status, or they're very well known, or they're very well known for doing something. But this is someone who's very, very, very powerful and very secure and very stable. Again, iconic, like patriarchal, like dad energy, fatherly energy, like strong, very, very strong. And I feel like he's waiting. I feel like he's waiting for you. Cancer, this is a very interesting reading. Normally, I would wrap it up here, but I feel like I want to just reiterate a couple things because this reading is very deep and very detailed. I feel like this connection is mind-blowing, like to say the least. There are so many different ways that you are physically, emotionally, spiritually, like universally like connected to this individual. Like this is like some pretty aggressive like bound energy. Like it feels like you're bound to each other, and it feels like I'm really getting the impression that I feel like you're almost reflecting on your past relationships and your past connections, and you're saying, what went wrong here and why did it go wrong? And it's because you've always been too attached to past people, is what it feels like. And I feel like you're like, I don't want to make that same mistake again, is what it feels like here. And because you're not making that same mistake again, I feel like you're almost like it's like you're still chained to this person. Like you're not going to get away from this person. But it feels like you keep vacillating back and forth as to like what to do here, like what to do. And I have to be honest, I feel like the universe is asking for a little bit of vulnerability from you. You know? Like, I am kind of getting the impression that you're seeing romance and you're seeing romantic relationships as very black and white, right? Either I'm 100% completely invested in someone, or I'm 100% completely uninvested in someone. And the universe is saying there's more to it than that, right? You are allowed to get close to someone, but not to get as close as you were getting before, right? Find a happy medium, find a middle ground, I think is what they're trying to ask you to do. It's almost like you've done the hard work. You've done the hard work of like acknowledging codependency and like acknowledging of like being too emotionally invested in people. But I really get the impression that it's more so like, it's almost like you're not taking the next step to go back. You know what I mean? Guys, I really hope this resonated for you. I can tell you for sure this resonated with someone because these cards are way too specific to be general. But thank you so much for checking out your November reading, and I will see you in December. Thanks, guys.